Recently, there's been a lot of talk about upcoming armies for Warhammer 40,000. One of the biggest debates I've always seen, and we always talk about on this channel, is the release schedule with Space Marines. Wes Hammond actually put a video about this recently, like how Space Marines are killing the game. I agree in some aspects of that video, but I don't really agree in other aspects of that video. Maybe I'll do a breakdown on that video one point in the future. But today's video, I want to explore the release schedule. I want to talk about what potentially is coming, what people should expect, what I'd like to see for all the different ranges in Warhammer 40,000. This is Imperium, Xenos, and of course, Chaos. Again, some of this is going to be in the Rumourverse, some of this is going to be personal theory, some of this is just my personal wants. So let's jump in and let's get waffling. So I want to start with the Imperium-based factions, then I'll move on to the Xenos factions, and then I'll end it with the Chaos factions. What I will say, the stuff that we've already seen released, there's no point going over that. So Custodes, you're not going to be getting anything new. You've already got your fat little chubby character with the spear and the melter gun. That's happened. Mechanicus, you got your Go-Go Gadget Lex guy. You're not really going to get anything in terms of brand new big releases going forward. Now, even though Space Marines have got something when they launched 10th edition, we got, of course, the 10th edition starter box set, there's still going to be more stuff happening to Space Marines. We've already seen it in terms of Dark Angels. As I spoke about just this past Monday, the Blood Angels are going to be the next big release for the Space Marines. Go and watch that video. There's a complete breakdown in that. Also, Agents of the Imperium as well. I really want to try and focus on stuff that has not been released yet and theorize and talk about rumors and stuff, which probably is going to be coming. And I think it's best to start with none other than the Astra Militarum, because again, this is supposed to be something big happening for this faction. There's been rumors now for a while that there is going to be Plastic Krieg. Some of the rumors were pointing towards the end of this year. I'm hearing now that is not going to be happening this year, and it is going to be starting sometime next year, Q1 2025. A part of that Astra Militarum Plastic Krieg launch, it's got to be more or less a full range refresh. In terms of full range refresh, that is to be debated, like Command Squad, Death Riders I've heard about, heavy weapons teams I've heard about. We've already got the basic infantry squad that released with the Kill Team box set. I'm sure there may be sappers a part of that, etc, etc, etc. There's still a lot more stuff to talk about with the Krieg, and I will be doing separate breakdown videos of that indeed going forward. I've always said one of the greatest strengths to the Imperial Guard is how they look on the actual battlefield itself, with the personality of their regiments. The Vostrians, the Valhallans, the Talon Desert Raiders, the Praetorians, the Mordian Iron Guard, the Kachan Jungle Fighters. Back in the day, they had an abundance of these awesome looking models, and now what we have is more or less just Cadians, and you can spice your Cadians up in little bits of ways if you want to buy upgrade kits. And I'm hoping they go back to the old days where we could at least choose from maybe 2 or 3 different regiments when it comes to the Astra Militarum, aka the Imperial Guard. Again, Krieg is probably going to be one of those regiments on the horizon, and maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, a rumor I heard years and years ago, Kachan Jungle Fighters maybe getting a refresh sometime. I think that would be a great regiment to reintroduce back into Warhammer 40,000. Now, swinging back around to Space Marines, and again, the Imperium is mostly packed out with Space Marines. You've got the Space Wolves, you've got the Grey Knights, you've got the Death Watch, you've got the Blood Angels, you've got everything, right? Your Dark Angels and stuff like that. Yes, you do have the Sisters of Battle. They've already had their release. The Custodes have already had their release. Mechanicus, as I stated, have already had their release. So now the only factions really that haven't had anything is the Grey Knights, the Space Wolves, and the Death Watch. There's been a lot of talk about the Grey Knights this edition. I am hearing that there's something vehicle-based happening with them. I'm not sure if it's going to be a baby carrier upgrade kit or something on the lines of that. I've heard Caldo Drago mentioned a couple of times. I don't know how true that is. Personally, I would love to get a brand new Caldo Drago model. I'm a massive fan of the Grey Knights. I know a lot of people would like to see them get a brand new range refresh in terms of scale, because with the new Terminator armor we've got now, the Grey Knights look a little bit odd next to the new scale of Terminator armor, which I agree, but I don't think that's going to happen this edition. I see that happening next edition, 11th edition, whenever that is, probably 2-3 years away, probably 2.5 years away at this point, as I'm recording this video. Death Watch, similar really with the Grey Knights. I've heard absolutely zero about the Death Watch. The Death Watch is a really funny faction, because they're basically just Space Marines with a silver shoulder pad, and they have some extra rules, more or less fighting Xenos and stuff like that, because that's what they're designed for. There's been a lot of talk that maybe they're going to be folded into the Agents of the Imperium book, which, you know, I can see. Hopefully they don't, because I like to get these codexes just to read the lore and stuff like that, and I'm scared, like, if they get put into Agents of the Imperium, they'll get less lore, which is going to be a bad thing for me. I'm moving on with the Xenos stuff, and I'm going to echo what I said at the start of the Imperium stuff. If you've had your release, Tyranids, Necrons, I don't think you're really going to get anything more during this big release now in 10th edition. Hopefully I'm wrong and you get massive amounts of things. Maybe stuff like Gargoyles are part of the Kill Team box set, or maybe, you know, smaller units are part of like Kill Team. Maybe that's the way they can introduce some things. So Tyranids, since you launched 10th edition, I think you're more or less out of the picture. Necrons, you got a few models at the start, though I have heard a ripple in the warp from the whispers that Trazen the Infinite is supposed to be getting a new model sometime. I don't know when that is supposed to happen. I was shocked that it didn't happen during the actual Necron launch when all that happened, because Trazen is probably one of the most recognizable characters, one of the most fan favorite characters when it comes to the Necrons, and he's still repping his old model. I think one of the biggest factions we're going to get models for, apart from the Tyranids, who got a massive refresh, is the Eldar. The Eldar has been whispered in the warp now for a long time, and apparently this is going to be the phase 2 of the Eldar launch. If you cast your mind back to 9th edition, you know, we got the new Avatar of Cain, we got a bunch of new models in there. This one, I'm being whispered, is going to focus on more of the actual aspects themselves, like Phoenix Lords, Warp Spiders in plastic. I'm hearing Swooping Hawks in plastic are going to be happening. Again, that may be linked to an actual Kill Team box launch set, because everything is flying in the future versions of Kill Team. But there's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening for the Eldar. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be Dark Eldar or Harlequins or anything like that. I'm talking about the normal Eldar, as I like to call them. When it comes to the Dark Eldar, I actually do feel sorry for them, because it feels like them and the Harlequins are a faction that are more or less has been left on the shelf for a long time. When you look at every big faction in Warhammer 40,000, they have like this centerpiece character, and with the Dark Eldar, the only character I can think of with that is Vect. But with the way Games Workshop are now, are they going to bring back Vect in the way he was back in the day, with his slave barge and a bunch of you know, slaves with hardly anything on them, you know, floating through the air? I don't think GW will go down that road anymore. I think they'll change that model in a lot of big ways if that was to happen. Harlequins, I'm completely lost with this one. I literally don't know. I absolutely have no idea what they could bring to the table. If there's any Harlequin players in chat, like, what is a big model or something for your range that you need, that you like? Because I am absolutely stumped. When you actually look at some of the other Xenos armies, which we've had releases for, the Tau in particular, they just got all the brand new Kroot refresh, which was absolutely fantastic in my mind. Vespids are still to come to them. They will be definitely attached to the Kill Team stuff, which I'm hearing about. In terms of stuff like Orcs, I'm hearing are going to be the big faction in 11th edition. So I would not be surprised if we hardly get anything for Orcs this edition, but next edition, 11th edition, we get a massive brand new wave. Some characters, some models which need an upgrade is probably going to be happening them, like Storm Boys, Flash Gits, you know, those type of models. I would assume that that is all going to be happening around 11th edition, because I am starting to hear some big things around that. One of the other things I'm hearing about, big things, well, technically small thing, this is the Leagues of Votann. Maybe I should have included the Leagues of Votann and Imperium. Are they Imperium or Xenos? I'm not too sure. I'll let you decide. I'm going to do it in the Xenos bit anyway. So Leagues of Votann, I am hearing they are supposed to be getting a second wave. It's a really strange thing when it comes to Leagues of Votann, because they got released and it seems like Games Workshop completely forgot about them. Like, they didn't even get a lore novel. I'm laughing, right? Because mate, you have to laugh. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. They were supposed to be getting a novel. As far as I'm aware, Gav Thorpe is supposed to be writing the novel, because he did put some preview text or a preview image of the text of the chapters or something on Twitter, and then he deleted that for some reason. Maybe he wasn't allowed to do that, and then he deleted it. Or maybe the novel got cancelled. I have absolutely no idea what's going on in Leagues of Votann. Wotan. Again, I have heard that they are going to receiving new models. Is it going to be this edition? Your guess is as good as mine. Hopefully so, because I have a lot of friends who play Leagues of Wotan. Even though, you know, they're not my type of faction, I want you guys to have fun and be able to get your models and paint them and play them and purge with them as much as you can. So hopefully we do get something really, really big for them this edition. And I think that's it with the Xenos stuff. So let's move on to the Chaos stuff. And I think this is probably going to be the big stuff now during 10th edition, because we've still yet to get the specific God-aligned codexes. We still need the Thousand Sons, the Death Guard, the World Eaters, and the big new one is going to be the Emperor's Children. I'm saying this right now. We are getting the Emperor's Children codex, model range, everything like that, brand new demonic Fulgrim. That is going to be happening this edition. If it doesn't, I'll walk away, GW. Actually, don't do that, because GW will delay it. I'm telling you right now, the whispers of the warp, these voices, they've never let me down, so I believe that this is going to be happening. One thing I do want to talk about with the release of some of the Chaos stuff in the future, and again, you can take this with huge amounts, copious amounts of shovels of salt, and it's all to do with the Demon Codex. I'm hearing that the Demon Codex is going to be going away, and the stuff from the Demon Codex is then going to be individually put into those God-aligned Space Marine codexes. So, for example, if you play like Bloodletters and stuff, that may be going into the World Eater Codex, etc., etc., etc. Which I don't know. Something like when I've spoken about this on stream, some people have said, well, that's how they do it in AOS. Maybe someone's trolling me, sending me emails saying, oh, this is, you know, I'm just going to send him AOS stuff and stuff like that. I don't know. That's what I've heard, and that's what I'm just passing on to you. If you want to believe that, believe it. I'm not sure if I believe it at this point, because it's GW losing a revenue on a codex, and Games Workshop absolutely loves money. So yeah, I'm not too sure when it comes to that. When it comes to the other Chaos aligned codexes, like we've already had the main Space Marine Chaos Codex, we got all that, we know what came out with that, we got 2 new HQ models. We will be getting a new HQ, or should I say a new model for every one of those God-aligned codexes. At this point, I don't know what it is for some of them. I do know for others what they are, and this is not me withholding information. It's just there's a time and a place to start talking about certain stuff. But I just want to reassure people that if you play Thousand Sons, if you play Death Guard, if you play World Eaters, you will be getting a new model. You'll be getting in some cases, lots of new models. So just keep your head up. I'm hoping we start to see the first releases of some of the Chaos stuff towards the end of this year. Again, Blood Angels are about to be the big summer release, but then we've still got a couple of months then to wrap the end of the year up, and you know, you have the Christmas boxes and all that, but then next year, bang, we're starting hard, and it's probably going to be the year of Chaos then. One thing that we definitely need for the Chaos faction is upgraded warband kits. We've just had it with the Night Lords for the Kill Team box, and it looked fantastic. Give it to the Iron Warriors, the Alpha Legion, the Word Bearers, everyone you can possibly think of. These do need to happen, because I really do think it adds, again, more personality to your factions, and I'm sure there's a lot of Chaos players out there would absolutely love to get their hands on something like what the Night Lords got. Anyway, Chaprunios, that's enough waffling from me. I don't know how long this video is. It's probably going to be around, well, more than 7 minutes, as you normally say. But thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. A bit of a random one today. I'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down below in the comment section. What needs to happen in terms of models for Warhammer 40,000? Not new factions. I probably could have talked about new factions and stuff like that. But of course, I think we need big updates to the old factions before we start moving on to new factions. Even though technically, Agents of the Imperium and the Emperor's Children are technically new factions, but yeah, it is what it is. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Thoughts and feedback down below, and have a nice little talk down there as we always do. See ya. Have a great day, and bye-bye.